intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
BoxingVoice.com.
Dollar D Beyonce Productions.
I must be the greatest. Let's get that done. I've been here before and I know what it takes. Hard work, dedication, BoxingVoice.com. And whether it's PPV,
win, lose, or draw, we coming to fight. Ain't nobody take that away. We're coming to fight.
They do what they can, I do what I want. When you look at how he throws that left hook, it starts out really low. We're going to see what kind of character he has.
The lefts and rights by Maidana. And it's all Marcos Maidana hearing a lot of those punches off his shoulder.
I think anybody out there listening or key, anybody think that that's a dangerous deal to make. I think it's perfect. That's it.
15 minutes. Can you? Listen.
Can you be strong for 15 minutes plus about 2 hours and 15 more of that? Because we're going to be here for about 2 hours and a half, if not 3 hours, talking boxing, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations. You found your safe haven. This is ThaBoxingVoice.com. Hashtag TBV podcast, wherever hashtags are used to follow along with the topics. And today's topics, boy, are they going to be pretty interesting. We have Gennady Golovkin, kind of taking the cake on the top topic because, the failed Cinco de Mayo super fight between he and Canelo Alvarez after Canelo pulled out. Gennady trying to slide in with a new opponent. We'll let you know who. We'll let you know how bad it was that the Nevada Athletic State Commission said, no way, Triple G. Get a better opponent, bully. Then we're going to take it over on the Showtime where we have a fantastic triple header. I want you to set your DVRs. Be tuned in early on the main event. We have Erislandy Lara, the IBO and WBA junior middleweight champion at 154 pounds, taking on the IBF very big, monstrous Jarrett Hurd, IBF champion. On the undercard, we have the return of Julian Williams taking on Nathan Gallimore, I believe, and you don't want to miss this. This kid Gallimore is dynamite, and he has been trolling Julian. He's been stalking him on social media. He's working hard. He wants this shot, and he's proven it to you before how exciting of a fighter he is on previous PBC cards. So definitely tune into that. Who else is on this card? It's a triple header. Who's on the undercard of that? Don't worry about it. Plenty to talk about. I don't know how this made it, but Matt, I guess he has, he's getting a check from Golden Boy. And for some reason, we're going to be talking about Oscar taken to the media saying that if Anthony Joshua, who's already making 20 plus million per fight, and Deontay Wilder, who isn't making anywhere near that much, but if they want to make real money, they need to contact Oscar De La Hoya to make the super fight that is Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua, or Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. So obviously when you call in, we're going to want your takes on that. Can Oscar De La Hoya add anything to this fight? Can he bring it to the magnitude that Eddie Hearn obviously feels it should be, or that $100+ million fight that the world believes it will be? Also on the undercard, what else do we have here? I mean, it's so much, not undercard, but we have obviously the Danny Garcia, Shawn Porter, WBC ordered interim fight. It's going to be interesting here. We're going to see just how serious these men are about facing the best. Unfortunately, I don't think Porter's going to have an issue with the ordered mandation from the WBC. The question I bet you on everyone's mind, and what we want you to let us know when you call in the number 1-425-569-5241, will Danny actually take this fight? Will Danny get in there in an interim WBC fight, which I will say for Danny and Camp Danny and Team Danny listening and Danny fans alike, you little fanatics out there, okay, we rolling. Hey, if you're Danny, you better jump on this fight because you never know. Keith Thurman more and more out of the ring. This could end up being for the full WBC. What? That's right. You just never know. I mean, Keith Thurman was supposed to be back May 19th. That is off the table. Who knows if WBC snatches it, puts it up for Danny and Porter to fight for. Oh, my God. Plus, a whole bunch of other news that we're going to add into our fifth topic, man. So we're going to head on out now to the guy that keeps all this rolling together, the glue, the hipster, Hunter, and the Golden State.
Gallimore Production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it? Fuck that. Conor McGregor.
BoxingVoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock into a knockout. When the main thing is, I just knocked the guy. I wish.
BoxingVoice.com.
Yes, the hipsters here. Haters beware. And gosh, it's kind of shocking that 10 minutes before we were supposed to go on air, fucking NSAC, the great commission that allowed Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor, a 49-0 Hall of Famer potential. Well, no, potentially. Whoa. He's 100% going to be Hall of Famer. It is just, he fought an 0-0 fighter, so now we're seeing a guy that's not allowed to fight an undefeated boxer. Just weird things happen with the commission, but that's not to be surprised. It is the Nevada State Athletic Commission. They do have a history of doing weird things. And, of course, we have the Jarrett Hurd, Erislandy Lara card, which to me is not the most stacked card, but it does have some really interesting fights from top to bottom that we can dig into. Obviously, Garcia versus Shawn Porter is not ordered yet, but the WBC is thinking about ordering it for an interim belt. To me, that is most likely going to happen. So can't we chop it up with you, Ness, Robbie, and the callers? Let's go.
Gallimore Productions.
BJ was going to beat me, then yeah, you think he's going to beat me. He got
Why isn't Wilder sold out 90,000? This guy has been pro for like 8 years, 9 years. If Wilder wants some of his work, he can definitely get it on ASAP.
BoxingVoice.com.
Yes. I'm back, so yeah, we've got some good topics tonight.
Hey there, R2D2?
Oh, R2D2.
Wi-Fi. You sure you got that new MacBook set to no Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
I don't know. Those Macs are a little tricky.
It's a little. I'm trying to work it out, but if it's no good, I could buy. Yeah, we got Mikey Garcia possibly as well, saying he's going to defend the 135 belt instead of the 140. So there's plenty of topics. The Triple G, Shawn Porter. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
It's bad, Rob. It's bad. I'm sorry.
All right, I'll cut out.
Bye. Go fix your internet.
Bye,
Rob.
Well, you sound perfect now, which is weird, but let's keep it moving, right? I mean, let's get right into it. Topic number 1, Gennady Golovkin taking on, is it Jay Munguia? Who's it? Pablo?
Well, no longer taking on Jay Munguia.
Okay. What's his name?
Isn't it Jay Munguia?
Oh, so it is Jay. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Jamie Mungia.
Jamie Mungia. So it's funny that, you kind of opened your introduction saying, how Nevada stepped up when, they've let other things slide in the past, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
So are you at least a little bit shocked? Because you're dismissing it like, they did what they're supposed to do. But in fact, we know that they don't normally do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, I'm absolutely shocked. I thought we were going to have this long show or, the opening bit be about how it's going to be on HBO, on HBO pay-per-view and how they're going to sell this pay-per-view, what's the buy rate going to be. Those were going to be the talking points. Now it's going to be Nevada stepping up when they historically haven't in the past. And They're not allowing this fight to happen. So what's the next fight to happen? Is it going to be Gary O'Sullivan? Is it going to be those fights? I don't know yet. I don't know what this means yet. But all it does is it puts the players to be, so to speak, Triple G, Tom Lawfer, K2, further behind on the ball in planning this event. This needs to be figured out rapidly at this point to sort of mitigate the already loss in revenue they're going to have. If they were planning on making Jamie Mungia a pay-per-view event, that's ridiculous, and they were already planning on losing a lot of money. They got to hurry this up. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what their PR or analytics team is saying when they say, hey, well, Jamie Mungia is Hispanic descent, so therefore we're just going to work on Cinco de Mayo.
Well, sure,
I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that's the case at all. So I just think it's peculiar to say the least. And I really don't know.
Shocked, man. I remember once upon a time, me and Abel Sanchez had a great relationship when Gennady Golovkin wasn't the network darling that he is, and he needed, as my good friend Eddie would put it, a small channel like ourselves to promote Gennady. And, he would tell us stories of 15 named opponents HBO turning down. 15 guys that they couldn't either to get to sign the fight or HBO to approve the fight. And here we are 3-4 years later with the same issue. I mean, this shouldn't even be a name. This shouldn't be a headline. This shouldn't even be a thought. Gennady should not be fighting someone of this caliber. There is no excuse, right? Because I am a man that likes to make excuses for a lot of these fighters, right? For instance, Keith Thurman. He's coming off an injury. Yes, he deserves a Jamie Mungia. Gennady isn't coming off a loss. In fact, he was about to fight Cinco de Mayo had Canelo not tested positive. So there should be no reason for an in-between tune-up. No reason at all.
What about the idea that you can't train and game plan for an elite opponent? Let's say a Jacobs, a Charlo, a Billy Joe Saunders, that level of opponent, right? It's probably unlikely or ill-advised to take that type of fight on a month's notice.
I highly doubt.
But again, we're not talking about those, but just for...
I'm hearing, listen, just let me get my rebuttal. I highly doubt that at this level, Abel Sanchez and Gennady Golovkin can't come up with a 4.5-week game plan for Jamal Charlo, whose biggest fight at 160 is Patrick Heelan.
But you can frame it that way, but we know Jamal Charlo is a real one, and he is at least a top 10 guy in the division.
He is a real one, but he's not Daniel Jacobs, who is proven, right? He doesn't hold an elite level win.
But I'll put it this way, Charlo isn't a Sullivan. He's more of a Jacobs.
And let me just finish that sentence because I know he listens and he loves to say that I fucking shit on him. He doesn't hold an elite level win at 160. But look, it is what it is. I think that he's willing, everyone willing to step in, because now that you want to say Charlo, look, Demetrius Andrade is banging the drum.
Of course they would step in on month's notice.
Banging the drum. Everyone, Sergey Derevchenko was banging the drum. And I don't know. I don't have a soundbite to say, to coincide with drums. So I'll just say whatever. Shout out to Alex. Where's Alex from? Oh yeah, that's he's also in Australia, right?
Yes.
And then Mitty in the UK. Fahim, what up? I think he's in Jersey or Philly.
Jabron.
Ronald Jink. Ronald, what up? Who else? Tito Santos. Who else?
A lot of guys in us. That's the answer.
I want to give shout outs because unfortunately we're no longer live on YouTube, Thanks to Eddie Hearn. What? Who said that? No. I'm just riding with the wave of the internet trolls that say Eddie shut us down.
Yo, but they're hilarious, man. Like they go in depth.
It's entertaining though.
It is.
But we're no longer live on YouTube for some time. So we're here on Facebook. And, we just want to shout out everyone that is joining us, They made the transition with us. They made the leap on over. So, all right. So Nevada stops this, thankfully, because it would have been unfair to any fans to have a Triple G Jamie Munguia for pay-per-view in Las Vegas. Like, that's the ultimate disrespect.
Yo,
has anyone even verified that this is real with like a law firm? Like, were you really considering Jamie?
Yo, ESPN reported it.
Yeah, but ESPN
ESPN
is notorious, Matthew, for saying sources close to the camp.
True, but we've also seen Dan Rayfield. Do we really have to talk about Dan Rayfield's credibility? Like, we can talk about Dan Rayfield's style. We can talk about his
credibility.
We can talk about all of that, but like Dan Rayfield's credibility is solid. Like,
yeah, but we're not discussing his credibility or whether or not his information is good. What we're discussing is how good is this particular information. This is very left field in my opinion.
Well, obviously, it was real because Nevada denied it, Ness. So obviously, that means there was a actual motion by K2 to have this fight. If Nevada denied this fight, so that means it was real.
Banks, what up?
That means it's real. Nevada denying it means that it was real. You can't say it wasn't. Plus, it has Dan Rayfield, one of the most credible reporters
I still think
in the
we
game.
should.
I don't know what you're talking about, Ness.
I think that Tom still needs to be spoken to.
He might have been the one that was spoken to. What are you talking about? Have you read the report?
Is that what the article says? Is that what you're saying?
Read it. I don't have it in front of me.
That's
I'm doing a lot of producing stuff, Ness, as you do not know because we're on Facebook.
That is deflection. It's okay. Hurd Lara. Very excited.
I'm not going to talk about like who Triple G could be facing actually.
Not really. It's all hypothetical, isn't it?
Yeah, true. Leave it for the callers.
I mean,
yeah. Is it going to be Sullivan now? Is it going to be good old Gary?
I don't even know why you keep repeating that name. You're
because
texting that name.
There was an actual
Deontay
contract.
says something that you should live by, and that speak it, believe it, receive it. And you keep speaking Gary, and you're going to end up with 444, not Triple G.
Well, again, because there was a contract sent out.
Bro, I wouldn't care. Again, you should be petitioning against that contract.
That's not my job. My job is not to petition here. My job is to present what's happening. What are the facts? What's the reality of the situation? If you want to petition for fights, you can petition for fights.
I don't want you to petition for a fight. I was just trying to be, a little extra. But what you can do is present it with your disgusted opinion. Because I'm expecting you and every other boxing fan to be disgusted.
Well,
that's why I'm pushing you into a corner, because I don't want you to go, flying underneath the radar like, oh, he could be fighting Gary. He could be fighting Gary, as if you accept it.
Well,
do you accept Gary Spike Sullivan?
Not on pay-per-view. Not on pay-per-view. I don't accept that on payper-view. But as a matchup in and of itself, I'm fine with that on a month's notice.
Yeah, that makes absolutely no sense to me.
Let me finish. Let me finish, Ness. Relax.
How many years ago?
Relax, Ness. Relax. Let me finish.
Just saying.
Like I said from the very beginning when I asked you that question, as do we expect a Triple G or any high-level guy to take on a month's notice a guy like a Jacobs, a guy like a Charlo, a guy like a Billy Joe Saunders? Most of the time it's no. We don't expect that. We didn't expect Deontay Wilder to take a tough opponent when Andre Wardzik fell out last minute and they faced Gerald Washington. He faced an undefeated prospect that would be similar to a Jamie Mungia almost. I mean, I don't see the
disrespectful by saying Jamie Mungia is equivalent to Gerald Washington. Sometimes when you make your points, bro, you got to be careful because you're offending people that get up every day at 5 a.m. to run 6 miles.
And you don't think? Hold on, Ness. You don't think Jamie Mungia does that? You don't think Jamie Mungia does that? He's undefeated. He's 19 years old. He's a young guy.
Listen, it's not about if he's undefeated.
He lives this. Gerald Washington came late because he failed in another sport. And who had he beat before fighting Deontay Wilder? Who had he beat? No one. Who had Jamie Mungia beat? No one. Like, I don't know what you're really talking about here, taking this stance about how dare you compare Mungia to Gerald Washington. Who the fuck was Gerald Washington? Who had he beat? Look up his box rec. Who had he beat before he faced Deontay Wilder? No one. Who has Jamie Mungia beat before he was allegedly supposed to face Triple G? No one. They're both undefeated prospects. I feel like that's a direct comparison. I'll give you some time since you're going on box rec right now. It's okay. I think Sullivan is a fine fight because, again, I think Charlo on a month's notice is hard. I think Jacobs on a month's notice is difficult.
You could say I'm going on box rec. I'm just trying to show you how to have a debate without cutting someone off. So I stood silent. I let you make numerous points and rant ridiculously without any factual information because that's what you're good at. You're good at making faces, shrugging your shoulders, using emojis, and talking shit. Okay. I'm talking facts. Jamie ain't no fucking body. I won't bother Googling his box rec. Gerald is someone I know. I don't need box rec.
Who had Gerald Washington beat?
Gerald beat at least. He's beat a veteran in Ray Austin. He's beat Eddie Chambers. He's beat Amir Mansour. Excuse me, because I let you speak. There, you have no argument, Matt. You can laugh all you want. You just look silly. Clowns laugh, okay? I'm not done. He beat Eddie Chambers. I'm not done.
Don't be so sensitive. Don't be so sensitive, Ness. Relax. It's boxing.
I let you talk. This is what I'm saying. Let me speak.
Oh, my gosh. Relax.
Eddie Chambers, Amir Mansour, okay? Nagy Aguilera, okay? Travis Walker, okay? So, and that's just a few. I'm not even going to go any deeper because there's no need to. That alone shows you why he was a top 10.
Top 10? Let's not go that far.
Matthew.
Let's not go that far. That's a little hyperbolic.
Listen, it's not hyperbolic.
It is.
Let's stay literal and technical.
He doesn't have a top 10 guy in his resume.
Excuse me. Let's stay literal and technical. We're talking no different than when we talked the other day about top 10, and I don't know who we were arguing, and we were speaking in that sanctioning body.
Yes.
When Gerald Washington was called as a
okay. No, I got what you're saying.
Excuse me.
I'm saying I got what you're saying. I got what you're saying.
You got it. Let me talk. I don't care if you got it. What you need to
can you relax? Can you relax, Ness?
Someone new listens to the show. Okay? You relax. Every day someone new listens to the show. So if you don't let me finish my sentence, they don't know what I'm talking about. Just because you're a hardcore boxing fan that can finish my sentence because you know what fight, you know what took place.
Well, Ness.
Casual, excuse me again. The casual does not know that I'm talking about him being top 10 within the WBC and him being a replacement opponent within the WBC.
I shouldn't have mentioned Wilder. My bad. Should not have mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's very easy for you to deflect because you lost an argument. You rather not bring up Jamie's career, right? Because there's nothing to talk about. Like I said 20 minutes ago when I tried to move on to Erislandy Lara and Hurd.
Ness, again, I said, I got you.
No, I got you. I got you. That's what happened. You lost this argument.
I'm not saying I won it, Ness. Relax. I'm saying I understand what you're saying.
As if they were the same, and they're not. Jamie is a disrespect to the sport.
Jamie's a disrespect to the sport? I wouldn't go that far.
Yo, my friend, in terms of trying to sell the public a fucking pay-per-view?
No. I'm talking about putting that aside. Hold on.
Check the headline of the title.
Ness,
check the headline.
Ness, I'm the one that made the headline of the title. Relax.
All right, well, then it's disrespect because I never heard of Jamie. He shouldn't be a B-side to anyone's pay-per-view.
You want to let me finish? Because I let you finish sometimes. You want to let me finish? I have said numerous times, putting pay-per-view aside. Get over here! With that one? That's an old one, really? Again, I've said same with Sullivan. Put pay-per-view to the side. Just talking about the matchup itself. Like if this was on regular HBO, I would have no issue with it. The second you put pay-per-view aside, then of course it's a non-starter. You're expecting me to pay $60 for this? I'm not going to do that.
I prefer to be in a faithful and honest relationship. You know what I mean? I don't like being cheated on, so you can have this. I wouldn't take this.
What do you mean? What do you mean cheated on? What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm just using it as a metaphor, you know?
No, I don't understand the metaphor. I don't understand
changing this boxing match into, a relationship. I would rather not be in that relationship. I don't want to be with Jamie and Triple G. That's not good for me. Now, Canelo, Triple G, I want to be involved in that. Jamie? You're talking about, if it was on regular HBO, it'd be okay. No. It would be okay for HBO that we talk about and discuss that's dying, that their budget is shrinking. Yo, what's happening with HBO? Why are we getting these fights? that's how it would be okay. It would be in line with what they're already giving us. It would be in line with good boxing. Okay, this is worse than Dominic Wade versus Triple G on HBO. And here he is again with the faces.
I don't know about that.
I think hard for these guys. I get it, bro.
I think they're about the same. I think it's about the same.
Someone's getting you a bunch of iced coffees on the West. I see it.
Yeah, I wish. I just think it's relatively the same. I don't think it's that big of a difference. I think Triple G beats them all. Like all the guys we've mentioned at that level, he beats them all the same. Like it's all that fight. It's a fight that is a late notice. Not injury replacement, but in a sense, it's sort of like that. It's a fight to keep the date. The only reason we're upset is because of pay-per-view.
It's a fight that isn't worth 26 minutes. Moving on to Lara, Hurd, and all the other good fighters that we should be talking about facing at least 50-50 fights or wherever you consider that. Main event.
So angry.
Lara versus Hurd.
Did you smoke today, Ness?
Erislandy Lara. I mean, how old is Lara now? 34 years old, maybe. You want to know? You don't want to check that? All right.
I can check while you're talking.
I'm gonna say this, bro. Usually, I would be picking Lara, and I know that he has something to prove.
Yes, he's 34.
Boom, on the money. Ness is on fire today. I know he's got something to prove and all that, but. How many rounds boxed?
Ooh.
290?
Hold on. No, 187.
Oh.
Actually pretty low.
Wow. What's the percentage on the KOs? That's low, man. I expected more.
48%. That's a low percentage.
Oh, that's a low percentage. I expected more rounds, but he's the better boxer, and that's why it's difficult for me to even give a clear, straightforward breakdown because I'm going against everything in me. I normally pick the boxer.
Very quickly, just for a comparison, Jarrett Hurd, 98 rounds boxed, 71% knockout rate, and 27 years old.
There you go. Putting boys away. And that's the thing. I think this dude is he's a freak. He's like Jamal. Jamal was big, and it was evident to all of us when he was in that ring. And I think that Jarrett is no different. Jarrett is so big that the last I spoke to him, he told me specifically, listen, if he can't win this fight and get Jermell next, he's moving up. He's only holding the belt the way Jamal did if he can get what he wants. Jamal didn't get what he wanted, but he held it to fight Julian to prove a point. Jarrett will hold it to unify versus Jermell. That being said, man, I'm going to pick Hurd. I'll obviously give you more of a breakdown later, but I want to play a bit of tennis. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to pick the youth, the length, and the height, probably the power. I mean, I don't know. What box doesn't he check besides, like, better boxer?
Yeah, but that might mean a lot. I'll put it this way as well. He is often a guy that's kind of a slow starter. Hurd's not a guy that has this huge, volume of punches very early on. He's not a Leo Santa Cruz in there that's this big guy. He's a guy that sort of stalks you down and sort of wears you down with his mental pressure, his physical pressure, and then he swarms you when he feels that he hurt you with one shot. That's what he is. He's really a swarmer in the later rounds. He's a guy that can take a ton of punishment, a ton of shots clean, and not get hurt, not get phased, and keep walking forward. That's his sort of thing, a la Joseph Parker in a way. His durability is a huge factor on his side, that he's able to take a bunch of these shots. I was watching the Austin Trout fight a couple times this week, and he was eating shot after shot by Austin Trout. But Trout didn't have the pop. He didn't have the cardio to keep up. He didn't have his own durability did not match Hurd's in order to match that pressure. Can Lara do that? I don't know, but Lara is a fantastic boxer on the outside. We've seen Hurd get jabbed up. We've seen him get touched up. I think Lara's going to touch him up regardless. Even if you think Hurd's going to win, you have to at least admit that Lara should be hitting him a lot this fight. And it's all about whether or not it's a passing of the torch moment, this momentum fight, the athleticism, the durability, the power of Jarrett Hurd is just too much. I'm picking Jarrett Hurd slightly. Late TKO finish. I think if it goes to decision, I think Erislandy Lara wins. But it's close. It is absolutely close. And Lara has more pop than a guy like Austin Trout. So if we see Hurd all of a sudden get hurt for the first time in his career, don't be shocked, because Lara does have more pop. Even though he only has a 48% knockout rate, that's a misleading percentage, in my opinion, of what that power is, what he can do, especially when he catches you on the right accuracy at the right time. And Hurd has some awful defense when he comes in sometimes. So it's a pick 'em fight. It really is.
Yeah, I went back and watched some Trout Hurd, and then I stumbled on Trout versus even Jamal Charlo. Trout is just good.
He is. He is.
He's just good.
Look at Trout
He's
Canelo.
just small. He was small for that division. That's why he was able to capitalize over the smaller Miguel Cotto when he got that win. But he couldn't to the 174-pound ballooning Canelo. So, but Trout's skills are there. He landed plenty of shots in both fights with Hurd and with Jamal, but ultimately size and power played the key. And I think that's going to be the issue with Lara. Lara's good at being, the technical boxer and stuff, but you can't really control the bigger man sometimes, or the wild and unorthodox man. And not that Hurd is wild, but he's unorthodox. He's unorthodox. We're going to see a good fight, and I'm glad. I hope that Hurd can stay on top of Lara. Do you think that Lara can somehow make this a boring fight? With Hurd's reach, as much as he commits and takes risk in his fights, he takes risks. That's why he gets punched. Can this still somehow end up being a boring fight?
Potentially, but I doubt it. I mean, I think Hurd just presents a style that's going to make great fights, in my opinion. That's really it.
Well,
I really don't see a bad fight here. I think you're going to see something very close to the Trout fight. I think we're either going to see that moment where, I think it was like the 5th or 6th round, maybe in the 4th round, that Trout just faded. That he could no longer keep up with that volume, with that footwork. I think if Lara is able to keep going, we could see him keep winning, but still see a great fight.
So tomorrow there's some fights. We'll talk about those later if we can remember, because the Olympian Marlon and Esparza will be on the card. But on the undercard of this is the rematch. Now, this is a bit disrespectful, I think, right? I mean, if James DeGale would be fighting Caleb for the title, would it not be a main event? And now that Caleb beats DeGale, it's a rematch. It's on the undercard of Hurd Lara. Not that I totally mind. Because, listen, this strengthens the hell out of this card. But thoughts on that?
Well,
this being the co-main.
It's not like James DeGale's been at least for the U.S. viewership, been a numbers guy. Like he's always done pretty low numbers. His fight with Badu Jack did 450 something thousand viewers on Showtime. That was pretty.
But weren't those main events though? They were still the main card. Like Hurd Lara took the cake on him.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm saying as a main event, James DeGale is not this numbers guy. So to me, it's not this big deal about making him a co-main. To me, that's exactly what I want to see. I want to see Showtime and Al Heyman pushing these younger guys. I want to see the Hurds and the Charlos being main events more often, because that means they're automatically going to get more shine than the co-main. If DeGale and Truax was the main event, would we be talking about it more than Jarrett Hurd and Erislandy Lara just because of the main event? Potentially.
Well, on the undercard, we have...
I think James DeGale wins that, by the way. I think James DeGale wins that.
That's right. We have to make the picks.
Yeah, you didn't make
does James DeGale have what it takes to get this rematch? And I wonder, does Truax now have a rematch clause?
I have no idea.
Does he get a rematch clause, or is the rematch clause DeGale's?
Well, I don't think DeGale had a rematch clause. I think Truax just gave him the rematch. To be honest.
Interesting. And we actually got Uli Martinez out there covering both tracks. Well, when he was in Minneapolis and Jamal James. Now we'll have Aaron, who's live at this fight and already out there covering Lara Hurd. So we'll find out. Well, let me make my pick, right? You're going to go with DeGale. So you think DeGale's going to turn it around? I'm going to say...
I don't think it's going to be a great fight.
Actually, I don't even know what to say, right? Because this would be me, again, betting with the heart. When I said this year I got to look good. But it's like, how does Caleb lose after accomplishing his dream? Something he probably never thought he would do. Something he heard countless of internet trolls tell him he wasn't good enough to do. Does he allow himself to lose now to the same guy he won it from?
It's not about allowing someone to beat you. Sometimes they just are better than you that night. And even the first fight was close. The first fight was very close. It's not like Caleb Truax outclassed him and beat him. It was a very close fight. But
DeGale's been on a crazy decline, bro.
He has, but he's taking some time off. It's a rematch. It's still Caleb Truax. It's not like he's
How long ago was the first one?
I think it was in the summer last year. Because it was that Carl Frampton and DeGale card, I want to say.
You know what it is? Truax is so slow. DeGale just has more tools. I'm going to go with DeGale. It's the safe pick.
It is.
I'd be interested to hear from our betting bookie, Mr. Bruce. Let us know what are the line for this. What is the line for this fight? So we're both going DeGale, safe pick, pedigree, Olympic medal, former champion. Hopefully he could get it done and not make us look silly. But
maybe he didn't get up for the first fight. It was sort of this quote unquote, hometown fight. He had, he hadn't been in the UK in a bit. It was Caleb Truax again. A lot of people aren't high on Caleb Truax. Maybe he just came in there not expecting much and got a little bit outworked. Maybe comes in here now, focus, and actually puts together a game plan and beats him.
If you're Caleb, you can't lose now because you're like, bro, I went to his backyard and kicked his ass.
What do you mean
But all right, we'll see. That's only going to make it a even better undercard, strengthen up the card. Speaking about strengthening, making things tight, Julian Williams coming back. Last time we seen him in a big fight, he failed against Jamal Charlo. We all remember that uppercut. Well, now he's back versus Nathaniel.
That's not the last time we saw him.
No. I said the last time we saw him in a big fight. This guy only likes to argue.
I didn't hear big fight. I didn't hear it. My bad.
Clean your fucking ears out.
Yo, you're so angry today. Have you smoked, dude?
I'm smoking.
Well, you need to smoke some more, man.
Keep getting on.
Roll up 2, okay?
Yo, I was supposed to play this when we talked about Hurd and Erislandy Lara.
American Dream.
And then I was supposed to play this. Sorry, guys.
Va a ser el próximo shocking de la película, la tercera parte. Va a ser él. Lo voy a figurar la cara. ¿Estamos listos?
And he says all those guys yelling and talking out there, you're not getting in the ring with them. So come Saturday night, it's gonna be the third version of Chucky. He's gonna leave his face all tore up. So just get ready because it's gonna be a lot of punishment. And this is your first big fight. So you got to calm down. You've never been in a big fight. You ain't never been and he ain't never been in a big fight. You never been in a big fight, and he never been in a big fight. So we gonna find out what you got Saturday night. You all talk. That's all you are. We gonna put you to work. We're gonna put you to work. We're gonna put you to work. We're gonna put you to work.
Yo, that's easy work. That was for you. I was supposed to open up with that. Then we talk about the fight. So this is what we'll do now. We'll open up with this. Then we'll talk about Julian Williams.
All that talking don't mean nothing. It's all about action. And I say what I mean. And I mean what I say. You was talking today for your birthday. You're going to get an early birthday gift. You're going to get an early birthday gift. Stop tripping. I study my opponents. I stalk him. I stalk him. That's what I'm gonna do in the ring. Keep on talking. Keep on running your mouth. You know, you had a big mouth when you was fighting Charlie, and what happened?
He's deleted.
Down 4 times. Wow. I think that stuff messed up your head when he chin checked you. I hope you're doing your chin push-ups because I told you what's gonna happen. How you like it? On your face, on your back, doing tap dance or referee stopping the fight. It's nothing more. I'm not playing with you, boy. I think I'm playing with you talking about you a rock. You ain't no rock. You ain't solid. You pebbles. I eat you. And that's what I'm gonna do Saturday night.
Yo, that was Nathaniel, right?
I just want to say, listen, I'm gonna give him. We're gonna score it, all right? Because it's unfair to just give an opinion. I think I'll be too harsh, so I'm gonna score it in parts.
Okay.
I'm gonna say A for effort for sure because we want that. Make it exciting for us.
And very quickly, Ness, for the first time listeners, like you said, that was Nathaniel Gallimore or Gallimore.
Gallimore. He's going to be taking on Julian J. Rock Williams. You can search him on YouTube. He's been on PBC before, and he's looked good. He wears like green. He's a little sloppy, but he punches hard. He punches very hard. So
he's the guy that just beat Justin DeLaroche. For those that
Deloach from Texas.
Yes.
That's Justin's only loss, right? Or is it the second?
That's his only loss, I believe. Oh no, that was the second.
Yeah. Because he just beat Deloach by knockout, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Technical
so here's
knockout,
the thing. A for effort. I'm gonna go with a C.
Whoa, harsh.
I'm gonna go with a C minus.
Whoa.
On delivery. Do you need to hear it again? I mean, he was very unsure of some of his punchlines. The confidence wasn't there. Some stuttering. It didn't feel natural. You need to hear it again?
I mean, it was pretty funny. I'll listen to that anytime.
There you go. I mean, I don't think we have to hear the whole thing, but you should be able to hear some of it and pick up on it.
Yeah.
Talking don't mean nothing. It's all about action. And I say what I mean. And I mean what I say. You was talking today for your birthday. You're going to get an early birthday gift. You know, you're going to get an early birthday gift. Stop tripping. I study my opponents. I stalk them. That's what I'm going to do in the ring. Keep on talking. Keep on running your mouth. You know, you had a big mouth when you was fighting Charlie, and what happened?
He's deleted.
Knocked down 4 times. Wow. I think that stuff messed up your head when he chin checked you. I hope you're doing your chin push-ups because I told you.
See, I ain't like it there.
I think this is like we're giving letter grades, so I'm gonna give a letter grade.
I'm not playing with you, boy. I think I'm playing with you.
He sounds like he might be a little bit Jamaican or something, right? I'm not playing with you, boy.
With your same boxes or whatever, segments, whatever you want to call it. Effort, definitely A for effort. Definitely have to agree with that letter. Delivery, I'd just say at least a B. I think he did pretty good for a guy that's, Nathaniel, Gallimore. I mean, a guy that we've never really heard of except for those that watched him that one time fight Justin DeLaroche. Yeah, of course I'm going to say that was pretty good. That got me hyped to see this fight. A fight that I was not excited for. Because last time I saw J-Rock was fighting Ishe Smith, and he did not look good in that fight. He looked very bad in that fight. He looked suspect. He got hit a ton. Ishe Smith, the guy that's always been sort of a gatekeeper, made J-Rock look like another gatekeeper almost. So I'm hyped for this now. I'll be honest. I didn't see the press conference. I didn't see that quote from Nathaniel. So I'm hyped. Let's go.
And this is what I do. I don't just say I'm producing. I actually produce. I bring to the table. But look, this kid is an aggressive style anyway. And the funny thing is, I was going to tell you guys because I've been watching him stalk J-Rock's page. Like, I've been watching that. Like, they've been going. He had a whole video on his Instagram. It's just he's not popular. He had a whole video on his Instagram teaching J-Rock how to do chin push-ups. So the thing is, he's going to have to look good because I know how much shit he's talked. Maybe not the rest of the world, but I know. That being said, on the undercard, we also have. Oh, actually, we got to go to Julian Williams' part.
And he can't bully me. You know what I mean? He's very obsessed with me. He's always on my page. I decided not to block him because I wanted him to see everything because he could stay up at night watching me, you know. So, but his coaches don't believe in him, you know. So I'm gonna shut this guy up on Saturday night. I looked at his record, you know. He's got a loss to a journeyman. He got a draw with a journeyman. He been knocked down by a journeyman. You know.
You got chin check.
I'm gonna shut this dude up on Saturday night. I don't got nothing else to say. Thanks everybody for coming out and support the fight.
So I'm definitely excited for this. Plus, look, around here, man, you know, it's unfair. We were high on J-Rock. So, like, we can't just drop off because...
Don't say we.
Huh?
Don't say we. Some people were. It was a small boxing
Wait a minute. When I say we, I guess the average listener is thinking you and I, since it's just you and I on the panel today. So are you not agreeing that you were genuinely high on J-Rock?
No, I was not high on J-Rock.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I've been on record here saying that I think Charlo almost easily beat him in their fight. I mean, just being honest. But again, that's just my personal take on what I've seen. I wasn't that high on J-Rock heading into that fight. I'm still not that high on him at this point. I still think he's a borderline top 10 guy in the division because the division's not that great in terms of depth. So, yeah.
So, yeah. You know, here's another one I forgot to play, just so all the Jarrett Hurd fans out there don't think we forgot him.
We're well prepared. This is the fight that we wanted to ask for, you know, after my win with Tony Harrison, winning the IBF title. You know, Erislandy Lara had a few words on Twitter he wanted to share, and, you know, this is a fight I've been looking for. You know, I don't know if it was either him or his team. You know, one day we go, get this kid Jarrett a payday to move out of his parents' house. Bitch number one, typical DC clown. You know, and somebody got to pay for all that. You know what I'm saying?
So Hurd wants Laura to pay for some comments that he probably didn't type, but hey, you know.
Hey, we cannot blame Rigo's Twitter guy that's just getting that check. I mean, he has to go around getting new
fights,
jobs.
Though.
Hey, he's making fights. He's getting new jobs. Shout out to that one guy. Salute. You know, this is a great fight. So I mean, I'm not mad at all.
50-50, yo. It's a 50-50, and if not, it's slightly in favor of Hurd. I'm pretty sure. Where's the betting line? Where is Brucey Bruce at?
I want to say Laura is a slight favorite.
Excuse me?
I want to say Erislandy Lara is a slight favorite.
You want to say Matt with his non-facts?
I don't have it in front of me, but from the last time I heard,
hashtag no facts, man. Every time he's like, yeah, I believe, Matt, get the fuck out of here with that. Anyway, on the undercard, Sergio announcer Mora.
Do you want to look it up, or do you just want to call me a liar? And then not present your own facts. And just come off like you want clown shit.
The only fact that I needed to present was that you were not presenting any facts.
I did not claim I was presenting facts.
Matthew, I was already talking about Sergio Mora.
I know. I just want to,
get off your high horse.
Well, hey, you had your little high horse moment like 5 minutes ago.
Hour? Do we need to make it the Matthew hour? Do you need a little attention?
Are you mad at me?
All right, absolutely. Sergio Mora versus Alfredo Angulo. Sergio announcer Mora is what I said at first before Matt so rudely interrupted me because
oh my gosh,
no skills.
Child, what a child.
I don't even know what to say about this, man. Like, yo, I get it. Like, I plan on podcasting until I die. So, like, Angulo and Mora feel the same way. They're gonna go out on this shield doing what they love, and you know, on this level. I don't think neither one of them could hurt each other. Mora can't hurt Angulo more than he's been hurt throughout his career because Mora is just not a big puncher, and Angulo has probably been in enough wars where he can't hurt Mora either. You know, I mean, we seen his hand-eye coordination and just everything was off, man. Even under the tutelage of Virgil Hunter, it seemed like Angulo was regressed. He seems slower and just more of a target. I don't know if that's because his better days were at 47.
Alex, sorry, very quickly. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, just because I got the information. Alex from Australia says Laura is the favorite. He says 1.8 and Jarrett Hurd 2. I don't know those those are different metrics for Australia betting. But he's saying Lara's the favorite.
Yeah, I wouldn't understand that, Alex. But shout out. Thanks for helping.
I'm assuming that's like minus 180 and then like plus 200.
Yeah, so on the undercard, we got Mora Angulo. I'll take Mora to outbox Angulo. Mora still has those boxing skills.
Agreed. I think both these guys haven't fought since 2016. Huge layoffs. Both guys had losses in their last fight. Both guys did not look that great in the last fight. Angulo, in my opinion, looked worse and looked more faded, so that's probably why I'm leaning Mora. And Mora is less reliant on his durability and his chin as is Angulo. It's one of those fights where it's like, it's cool. Like, it's two guys that probably should have fought maybe like 5 to 8 years ago, and it would have been a very relevant fight. But right now, it's like, okay, two guys that haven't fought in 2 years, both coming off losses. I can't be that excited for it. It's one of those fights that I'm going to watch probably the next day.
Shout out to Tony Juco, who's going to be fighting in Paris. We won't get any way to watch this, but keeping our eye on the heavyweights. Heavyweights are hot right now. Patrick Teixeira, last known, was undefeated and then got knocked out by Curtis Stevens, who's been in camp with Saddam Ali and Daniel Jacobs. He's back under the tutelage of Andre Rozier, and they're trying to get him down to 54. Curtis has always been a short guy, so that would probably make a big move for him. But he last knocked out Patrick Teixeira, and Teixeira is back in action in Sao Paulo, Brazil. On my to-do list. Still haven't done that. I remember that was like high on the to-do list. Then
the travel list?
Yeah, no, just in general to-do list. It was like, gotta hit Brazil. But then I heard like, it's high rate up there. So it was like, whoa, I'll stay away. All fair is overtime conversations. Yo, Indio, California. We got ESPN Deportes and ESPN2. The return of Matt's boy. He no longer talks about him like that ever since Bert Cech took a piece of his soul. But Francisco Vargas is back versus Rod.
No, whoa, that's not this weekend.
That's not April 12th? Shit, I went too far.
Yo, homie, come on, man. Come on.
Y'all worrying about what's in my pocket.
That's right, man.
OMG. I am so excited.
Ness was just too excited about boxing right there, man. He just kept going with the schedule. We're about to go into May. Don't give a fuck. Let's go.
Yo, anything else you want to touch on?
Well, obviously we have like the Danny Garcia, Shawn Porter.
Didn't talk about that?
We didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about Oscar wanting to promote your man and Joshua.
All that was just intro, huh?
That was just the fights. Yes.
No. I mean, when we spoke about it, it was just intro. All right.
Yes.
So moving along, Oscar De La Hoya again. I don't even know. This one definitely doesn't need a lot of time.
No,
Oscar, for whatever reason, tweeted that if Deontay and Anthony Joshua want to make real money and make a real super fight, they need to contact Oscar De La Hoya. Those are the facts of his tweet. Now, my opinion is, why? Why are we even paying attention to this dude? Like, he's just trying to stay relevant. It's deflection at its finest. He rather us be talking about him trying to promote a fight that actually could happen, because the one that he was promoting can't happen.
And let's be honest here. We know that Canelo represents well over 90% of Golden Boy's revenue per year. That was revealed in the court documents with the old Al Heyman lawsuit with Golden Boy. The Canelo Amir Khan entire sort of financial figures were released to the public. I believe it was an SB Nation affiliate that has all those legal documents. I think it was Paul Gift wrote about it. Go check it out. But it was, I want to say they were in the hole financially up until that Amir Khan Canelo fight. And then they were making millions after that. That's how much Canelo means to Golden Boy. That it literally makes the company from going under and not making money and losing money to making millions. So, of course, Oscar is trying to do not damage control, but like you said, Ness, deflect. Go to the next biggest fight. And in some way try to sort of poach that in some weird way that we all know is not possible. But
it's 50 Cent life,
here's the thing.
man.
Here's the thing. It's not like even Oscar can do anything, man. Oscar's not a great promoter. I forget who called in the other day saying like Oscar is not great on the mic. Yeah, Oscar's awful on the mic. Oscar is an awful promoter. Him in the press conference it's like watching like paint dry, in my opinion. There is way more interesting things I want to do with my life than watch Oscar on the mic.
Here goes Oscar at a press conference, and this is just like off the top, but this is what I remember. Yes, this is going to be a tremendous event.
Yeah, that's so tight.
Canelo, Triple G, 2 superstars. This is tremendous. Canelo, Triple G, 2 superstars that are really the face of boxing. This is tremendous. Yo, he loves the fucking word tremendous. Watch the press conferences for real.
Yo,
but
and he says it in like a Norman Bateman like sort of way where like it's almost like psychopathic. Like he almost like lacks a soul when it's almost robotic. It's weird. It's just weird. Like I think Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua can make millions and millions and millions without Oscar, and Oscar does fucking nothing for that fight.
Yo, shout out to Fugatti. Fugatti, you get my love because you are a friend, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, Ness, give your take on the Conor shit. I don't know anything about Conor or what's going on. I only seen that the name was in our group chat that you are in, so obviously you were part of the reason that I even seen the name. Never clicked the link. Never clicked the link and never read a story. So that is my take. Speaking of takes.
Oh, do you want to hear about what happened with the Conor thing?
No.
You know you're good?
Any way related to boxing?
No.
And not stand-up game.
Other than
related to boxing.
Other than it might not. No, it doesn't. No, there's no way. There's no way I can spin it.
All right. So Danny Garcia in the opening of the show, I mentioned this while we were bulleting our topics, and the question I still want to pose to the listeners is, does Danny take it? Because let's be honest, Matt. WBC can mandate whatever the fuck they want. They can mandate Jamal Charlo versus Gennady Golovkin. If Gennady says no, I'd rather wait for Canelo to do our rematch, that's what he's going to do. Titles or no titles. So do you think Danny is going to say yes? Or is this different from the rumor that Danny was supposed to be fighting Porter last year sometime? And if he doesn't take this, the backlash will be too great, being as though he already has that cherry picker stigma.
Well, if the WBC does order this, I think it's definitely leads to the credence that's going to happen, or that it's more likely to happen. I think it's hard for Danny to avoid a Shawn Porter fight if it's ordered. If Keith Thurman's still, doing Keith Thurman-like things, playing the flute somewhere in the Himalayas, nursing an injury, I don't know what you do in the meantime. What's the best money that you can take? What's the best fight you can take? There's not much out there in the welterweight division. Let's be honest here. It's very top heavy right now. 3 or 4 years ago, we thought this division had a deep top 10. This really only has 5 guys. Yes.
And let's be honest, right? If you're Al and any of the top welterweights, he's having this conversation with you, and it goes a little something like this. This is the biggest fight I can get you, Danny.
Yeah,
Keith is out. Keith is out for the rest of the year, possibly, and even if he's not coming back to fight you. There is a bigger fight for you out there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want it? We could get you another Rod Salka for now, and then you and Earl can do it in the end of the year for real money. If you want real money, you want real money. Oh, so you're saying you only want 1.5 to 2 mil? All right, so the only guy I could give you that versus is Shawn Porter. I can't give you 2 mil versus Paulie. We got to let Broner win to see could we give you 2 mil versus Broner. I mean, I'm sorry. This is what we have to offer.
Because obviously the other big fight out there is really like Earl Spence.
I just said that.
But
that ain't happening until the end of the year because Earl Spence got the mandatory in June. That's already signed, sealed, deliver on Showtime.
And if you're Danny, you take Shawn over fucking Earl Spence. I mean,
Earl is way bigger than fucking Shawn.
And Shawn, even though he's a very difficult guy, doesn't have the pop that Earl Spence does. He doesn't have that power that Earl Spence does.
Or the accuracy that Earl Spence has. Because Shawn, let's just give Shawn the benefit of the doubt, say he has the same power as Earl. He ain't putting them punches together like Earl.
No, he's not. And it's just a very different fight. I don't know why, if you're Danny, you don't take this fight in the summertime at the Barclays and some summer blockbuster. Stack the card, because Keith is out. Like you said, like everyone knows, Keith's not coming back and fighting any of these top guys next. So you have to do something in the meantime. It's unfortunate that this is what the division is. That is stagnated in a way because of Keith Thurman. But that is just the nature of the game right now. You got to make the biggest fight available to you. And right now, Earl Spence is tied up. Right now, Terrence Crawford, Jeff Horn is tied up. The only other guy that's even somewhat relevant in the division right now is Shawn Porter. There's no one else in the division that's relevant right now. No one. You're going to pick a Josh Kelly that just beat Carlos Molina? No. Like, there's no one else that you think of that goes, okay, that makes sense. There's no Lamont Peterson that just got a big win. There's nothing like that right now.
There's no $2 million payday other than Porter or Earl.
No.
Earl is probably a +2. And Shawn is probably a 1.5 to 2.
Yeah, agreed.
Or Danny. Because Danny and Porter, like you said, in the Barclays, they could probably put the same amount of seats that Keith did. Because everyone is going to come out thinking, holy shit, Porter's going to fuck up Danny. They're going to come out to see that. It's a
good fight too. Like, let's not get that mistaken. Like, it's a really good fight.
It will be a good fight. And it's funny to see that fight because remember, Danny always said like, "Oh, that's the perfect style for me," but he never took the fight.
And I still think I remember I argued this on the show when we first talked about it, when it was like rumored a while back, before the Brandon Rios fight and all that. I said Danny Garcia has a style to beat a Shawn Porter, to counter him mid combination when Shawn Porter gets wild and gets loose with his defense.
That was once upon a time, Matt. But after watching Keith one-time Thurman punch Shawn Porter, counter him with left hooks and a right hand. He left hook, right hand him. Still ain't put Porter down. Still ain't slow him down.
But we've seen guys like Broner who has less power than Thurman.
Off balance knockdown, bro. Off balance knockdown.
Hey, but that's how Danny Garcia would knock down a Shawn Porter. It's off balance, left hook, mid combination, counter. When Shawn is throwing that left, you throw that. When Shawn's throwing that right, you throw the left counter. I think that just makes sense. It's a possibility.
Well, that's the intriguing part about this news, man. It's up to Danny. I feel like he's the A side in this one. He's the one that's gonna say yes or no on this one.
Mm-hmm.
And what's a big fight outside of the box for Danny that it's like, oh shit, he ain't Danny ducking Porter. He ain't take that Porter fight. Then it's like news breaks, breaking news. Danny Garcia fighting.
It would have to be someone in another division. So it have to be
outside of the box.
So it had to be like maybe. And again, I don't think this is one that's gonna make him not get any hate. He's still gonna get some hate. It's Danny Garcia, obviously. He just has the haters. But it's a Dom Ali Kell Brook fight at 154. I could see that potentially working. Maybe somebody else that has some sort of establishment at 154. Maybe another 140 pounder moving up that has some sort of momentum right now. Let's say
good options though.
Let's say like a Regis Prograis was like, fuck 140. I'm going to 147 right now.
No way.
I think the hardcores could get hyped for that fight.
No way.
Again, I'm just throwing out fights. Just off the dome, off the weed. Just come on, Ness. Relax. Just go with me here.
Every day.
Mikey Garcia obviously is still, I think, a really big fight for anyone.
That could be it.
Anyone at 147.
Yeah, listen.
Manny Pacquiao still.
Al calls you. He's like, yo, bro.
You
gotta mandate. We gotta do this mandatory. He's like, nah, fuck that, Al. Yo, man, I don't want to fight Porter, man. He too wild, man. I don't want to even have that fight right now. What you got for me? Get me something else, Al, because the world gonna look at me like I'm ducking. All right, man. We gonna drop that interim title. And we're going to make a super fight with you and Mikey. Mikey's moving up again. Yeah, Mikey Garcia versus Danny Garcia does that swerve the hateration if he doesn't take the Porter Nation?
Yes and no. I think a majority of the hate will, like the haters, like won't care as much, but it's still Danny Garcia. Like every time we mention Danny on the show, whether or not he was on the topic list, we get comments below on YouTube or whatever saying Danny cherry picker Garcia with the cherry emojis. We get that every time, even if he's not in the fucking title. So I think he's gonna get a hate regardless. That's just his lot in this boxing life. I think is to be the guy that people hate. And that's okay, because, again, he's made millions doing it. So, who cares?
Yo, if Danny fights Porter and beats him, and someone puts a cherry emoji after that day, I'm fucking him up.
Yo, it's so crazy that people...
Smack status after that.
Yo, people still put the cherry when he beat guys like Lucas Matisse, Lamont Peterson, etc.
Yeah, but
while others, like, you know...
No, that's more like, what have you done for me lately, Matt? Stop it.
Hold on, I'll put it this way. But others will praise Earl Spence for, you know, finding his, you know, his super mandatory in Lamont Peterson. Oh, my God. You know?
That wasn't a mandatory.
Oh, that wasn't, right? Yeah.
That was a voluntary he took on.
Oh, his first title defense. So dangerous.
Lamont vacated and went for the title shot.
Yes.
But, listen, you already know what it is.
What's going on here?
Yeah, it's always some crazy shit going on in boxing, bro. Nothing new, nothing different. Anything else you want to add on our fifth topic for little round the world news? I know that Robbie, before he dropped off, mentioned someone about 135. Oh, yeah, Mikey. He said Mikey was going to defend the 135 WBC versus who?
He said, no. The WBC said he has to go back and defend his 135 belt. Whether or not that happens next is yet to be seen.
Okay, well, he already said he wasn't doing all that funny shit.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Anything else out there? What you got? What you got for this last news box, man? What you got?
I know there's some other fights around the world that aren't being televised. I know there's a women's fight, I believe, somewhere in South America. I don't know the names, but just check it out. I know Kareem Mayfield. Hold on. I know Kareem Mayfield's having a.
Matt, allow me.
Yes.
Matt, allow me.
Yes.
Nobody wants to hear about that bullshit. We could be talking about Dillian White and Kurbrat Pulev being IBF mandatory order. We could be talking about Dillian White and Povetkin agreeing to fight ringside with Anthony Joshua. Now Povetkin's team saying, why should we fight him when we could fight Joshua?
Hold on, Ness. We can still talk about those things. Like, you know that, right? We can still talk about those things, and I can talk about the things I want to talk about.
That shit you talking about should always be last.
Secondly, we just had a iTunes reviewer saying, I wish you guys would talk about more women's boxing. So here I am talking about a women's championship fight that's not being televised.
Oh, he curved you already.
That you guys or ladies out there, if you want to watch, you guys are going to have to find a stream out there for this fight.
Ladies don't want you to talk about women's boxing. Ladies want you to be nicer, Matt. You heard her.
Yo, Dominique, I'm her favorite. Okay, we talked about this, Ness.
That's one person, Matt.
Emotional. Why you emotional?
Bitch, you emotional?
Yeah.
That's my
God,
shit
that's
right
so
there.
good. That is so good.
I can't believe people actually hate the soundbites, man. Yo, y'all gonna miss us when we blow up, okay? And we can't even afford to pay for these sound bites because we're gonna be so big, they're gonna be like, yo, you using my shit? I want to get paid. Fuck you, pay me. You know what I'm saying? I was supposed to play the sound bite that said that, but I ain't fast enough.
No, you failed. But you want to talk about Dylan White, Pulev, and
I mean, I think I already did. So it's really up to you to give your opinion now.
I mean, we knew that Dylan White or Dominic Brazil could be a guy that's going to be mentioned with the mandatory eliminator with Pulev. Brazil is no longer in the equation for some reason. So, of course, Dylan White's going to step in. I think even Gerald Miller was at one time even mentioned for a eliminator with Pulev. So, of course, those guys, those 4 or 5 guys, are going to be mentioned for title fights coming up. And Povetkin, just very quickly, Ness, for Povetkin, I still think he's going to get that Dylan White fight no matter what. I'm just being honest.
If you're Dillian White, why would you take the Pulev mandatory when he's got a history of doing some funny shit? I mean, this ain't the first time. I don't know if you remember, but he did some funny shit when he fought Vladimir too. He pulled out like once or half or twice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Half or
yo,
twice.
he's just got motherfucking history or tendencies.
So does Povetkin.
Things not going smoothly.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about somebody with history, I mean, we have Povetkin on the other hand. So I mean, what history do you want to take here? You know.
No, this is the thing with Povetkin. As long as you ain't testing him, he gonna be good.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? So he on the WBA route. He ain't worried about tests.
Well, no, he's in the WBC again.
Feeling hot.
You know that, right, Ness? He's in the top. I want to say top 10 in the WBC.
No, I know. I think he's like number 5 or some shit.
But I mean, that doesn't mean he will be tested. You know?
It doesn't mean that
he's just in the testing pool.
Doesn't mean he's going to take that fight.
Doesn't mean anything's going to happen. But if I'm Dylan White, I probably want Povetkin because he's a better name. And style-wise, I think he's an easier fight. He's the shorter guy. Pulev is a tall guy. Dylan White, to me, has always struggled with guys that are taller than him with a longer reach. Dylan White does very well when he can, extend the jab out there, work behind it, and then, get into a rhythm. I think he's going to be able to box very well against Povetkin, unlike Pulev. I think Pulev will give him some issues. Just style-wise.
If I had my choice, Eddie Hearn, I would have you make Dillian White versus Povetkin. Both of those are at least active. Last we heard of Pulev was him pulling out of the Joshua fight. How the fuck is he in an eliminator after being inactive longer than a year? I don't know.
Well, because he was the mandatory, and the only reason he did not get his fight because he was hurt. So that's technically why.
Yeah, well, he needs a tune-up. He should go sit down somewhere because he know he ain't ready. He ain't gonna take this fight. I'm telling you, after taking a year off for a quote-unquote injury, now you're gonna bounce back versus one of the most dangerous top 10 heavyweights? I mean, Dylan ain't no slouch. He letting his hands go on dudes.
I mean, but if you're Pulev, you're probably thinking you can outbox Dylan White. He's a little bit sloppy, that you're the taller guy with the longer reach. You got a good jab yourself.
Pulev is a little pawing-ass fight. I remember his dumb-ass fight with Vladimir. Looked like two jousting, dumb, goofy motherfuckers. Hell no. Dylan will bring all sorts of pain and pressure to Pulev's slow, stiff-legged ass. Hell
no,
no.
I think Dylan beats him still, but I
think he look old anyway. How old is Pulev on paper, man?
Oof.
You got a big-ass linebacker fucking shoulder head block. You like a juggernaut head. He got a blockhead.
But yes, that is the news, Ness. If you want to go to the callers or the sponsors.
I thought he was actually getting me a Pulev age. Jeez Louise.
Oh, I know he's in his 30s. I can look it up really fast if you want me to.
Oh, I know he's in it. Here goes Max with Matt. # non-facts. I'm telling y'all. I know he's in his 30s. Something like that.
Oh, was I wrong with my first?
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Hey, Ness, you want to know how old he is?
How?
36, motherfucker. I am always right. I am always right. Except for
you to say 30-something. He's something. Like, being accurate is a fact,
Well, no, I was right.
Broad brushing
he is 30-something years old.
Oh, man.
He was. I was right. It wasn't the exact age.
I'm about to hit you with the locks.
We're arguing semantics here, but I mean, I was right, technically.
I ain't going to hit you with the locks, man. I ain't going to do it. Let's go out to in Nueva Jersey.
The king is what I mean. The king is what I mean. My man, get a cup and put some change inside your hand. Shake it down. Now hold up. Let's make this official. Everybody, let's breathe.
PPV, fellas, first one here, last one to leave. I'm living up to that. Feel good about that. Listen, Jarrett Hurd, I got mixed reviews because last time I saw, that fight between him and Austin Trout, that shit looked like Deion Cole versus Odell Beckham. So now we got Odell Beckham and Jarrett Hurd versus it's just throwing Fab. Lara looking like Fab and shit. Anyway, Hurd reminds me a lot of Jermaine Taylor. He's going to throw a little jab, and size-wise, too. That's why it's interesting that he's moved up to 160, because he definitely is a lot like Jermaine Taylor in terms of he's just going to fly that little jab out there. He got power. He's young. He's hungry. He's aggressive. He's got a motor. Lara, though, I don't know. I'm a fool for a good boxer, man. So I'm hoping that what I know and think about boxing and Lara's elusiveness, plus the fact that if Dion Cole gave Hurd a difficult time, then I can only imagine what Lara would do. So I think I'm going to use my boxing IQ, and I'm going to hope that because Hurd is a slow starter, Lara's going to jump out in front. He'll win like a split decision or a tight unanimous. J-Rock got to do something, man, because we are still big on him. We don't throw fighters away, especially the way, he took that loss with class. He got ate up in the Lions den, but he took the loss with class. So, we don't want to throw him to the wolves, man, but he definitely has to show something because, all due respect to Ishe. Ishe is, I like his character, even though I don't like his ability all the time, but you can't look bad against Ishe Smith. You don't want to do that. Everything else for the weekend, man, it seems like we got a pretty good row of fights. Shout out to women's boxing. Shout out to you guys, and that's my call.
Thank you, Amin. First one here, last one out.
Shout out.
2017 Caller of the Year.
Yes, sir. I mean, we got love from the alumni, man. We're gonna go out to LA.
This portion of the show we call In the Know, presented by my brother
Info Joe. What is up?
Yo, what's up, my boxing brothers? What up, Matt? What up, Ness?
What up, man?
What up, all the listeners, everybody in the chat. This is where it's at. Yo. Ness, you right on point. The Triple G Mungia fight is not a pay-per-view fight. It would do low numbers. It's a waste of time and money. The only pay-per-view that's good for him is Andrade, Charlo, or Saunders. This is going to flop right here. That fight should be free. Get out to the fans for free.
Well, that fight's not happening, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, the Nevada State Athletic Commission denied that fight to get a license. Great. Hope they make it better pick. Yo, the Porter Danny Garcia fight. I love it. Can you imagine the build up with Angel Garcia and Ken Porter talking shit? Hey, I would travel to New York for that fight. I would try to and chill with y'all, man. Chill out. Shout out to Amin and Castle Hill Gill and Big Pat from Brooklyn and Shane from the Bronx. I would come back out there and chill with y'all, man. I can't remember everybody, but yo, love you NY. That fight, it would be worth it for me in the summertime. J-Rock versus Gallimore. I like that kid from the side, but I got to go with J-Rock. I think he is the better boxer, and he needs this fight. He cannot afford to take another loss on this stage. Put me down for DeGale. I'm going to give him another shot. He going to have to fight his heart out because he cannot afford to take another loss on this stage and lose that belt again. Far as Lara and Hurd, hey, man, how does that dude make weight, man? He looks just as big as DeGale, and he looks like a 175-pounder sometime, man. But it's a 50-50 fight. I got to go with the better boxer, though. I think Lara is getting a little old there, and Hurd, I wouldn't be surprised if Hurd lost, but I got to go with the Cuban. The Cubans can't afford to take another loss. Lara got to win this fight. This is a big fight to me, a big unification. This was when the dust all settles with the 3 or 4, the Charlo 2. Oh man, we got good action. Hey, one more question before I get out of here. We're approaching the first quarter of the year. Are y'all satisfied with what the boxing guys gave us? Yeah, I'm not blown away by it. I'll put it that way. I'm not blown away by anything yet.
Okay.
I mean, things are falling apart, right? Like Canelo fell apart, and we don't know the seriousness of Joshua. So really, what's the big fight in 2018 that happened? I mean, it looks like, obviously, look, we got Lara, Hurd, 50-50. We have things that are in the works, things from last year that are rolling over into this year. Leo Santa Cruz, Abner Mars, but, we haven't had that big one yet, that banger. Not yet. Jamal, South Florida. Talk to me. Jamal.
Yo, what's up, y'all boys? Been a minute. Y'all boys got in trouble.
Yeah, we got in trouble.
But anyway, I got a couple questions. Yeah, blame Matt. When I saw the video, I was like, what the fuck was he thinking? But anyway, Tony Bellew, his reaction to the Parker AJ fight, his words about Wilder. What y'all think about that? Y'all seen that interview, that video?
Which?
The Tony Bellew. He did a reaction video to the Joshua Parker fight. He was talking about Wilder, his comments in the Breakfast Club interview.
No, I don't
see that. What did he say?
But he was talking mad crazy, y'all. He was saying he wanted that Wilder should be suspended and all type of craziness.
A lot of people are saying
that. Listen, you got to understand.
Take that fight with Tony out.
You got to understand the UK, they like that, right? They're not allowed to curse and shit. The BBC be finding them for almost everything they say wrong over there. Like, over there, they really try to govern you.
Oh. Second question, last question. If you was Triple G and they came to you and said you had two fighters and you had to choose between Jamal and Billy Joe, who would you take?
I would probably take Billy Joe because Jamal is, I ain't going to say he's exactly Billy Joe, but he's still a boxer with power, where Billy Joe is just a boxer, but he still presents a lot more than just being like, he's good on his feet. That's what Billy Joe has, is good feet. So
I think Triple G loses
fight
both.
Is tough, but he'll take the lighter puncher, in my opinion.
I think Triple G loses both fights, so it doesn't really matter.
Whoa. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jamal.
Jamal, thanks for calling in. We're going out to Gary in Dallas. Talk to us.
What's going on? Real quick, I think I want to take Gallimore in the J-Rock fight. J-Rock just hasn't looked good. Either of his, I mean, he might have lost the Ishe Smith fight. Or I think he's going to outclass Hurd. I mean, I don't think it's going to be, Hurd's always a threat, but I think Laura's going to be off the back foot, and it's going to be a 120 to 108 type of fight. Like, Hurd's never really going to get in it. Because Laura knows that he can't get sloppy. He can't get lazy for this guy. I think Laura's going to put on everyone may call in on Sunday and say it was boring, but I think Laura's going to take him to school. And then, what's the other fight?
Lara Hurd, J-Rock Gallimore,
DeGale,
Truax.
And Truax.
Sergio Mora, and Gulo.
I'm gonna take DeGale, I guess. I'll take DeGale on that one. But the real reason what I want to talk about was the Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter thing. Garcia's got to take that fight. I mean, if he takes any other fight, the haters are going to kill him. He already got that reputation of being a cherry picker. Porter called him out. He got in the ring with him. Danny's got to take that fight. If he doesn't, his name is toast. Like, he'll never live it down. I know he wants Spence, but I think he wouldn't definitely beat Porter, but I think he'd have at least a 50-50 chance with Porter. So, I mean, and probably the Porter fight would be almost as much money as Spence, wouldn't it? Because Garcia is kind of the A-side no matter what. I mean, Garcia is kind of the biggest name. But I don't think he'd get that much more for Spence than he would Porter.
It would be more for Spence, but not significantly more.
It's time.
It would be more for Spence, but not significantly more.
How much do you think? But what do you think? Maybe $200-300. I mean, it wouldn't be that much more, would it? Wouldn't be like.
Well, I mean, $300,000 means a lot.
2.5%. I mean,
well, Gary, very quickly, $300,000 is a lot for some of these guys. Even a Danny, even for the richest people are the biggest penny checkers. You know that. I mean, so if Danny's looking at Earl and Porter, and there's $500,000 maybe of a difference in purse, that's a significant difference. And remember, Spence is also a title fight. That's a difference right there. There's a belt on the line there.
It is. Let's check it out. So this is for the interim belt, right? And in reality, Thurman's not going to fight again, right? I mean, I called you guys back in January and said Thurman's not fighting in May. He's not going to fight in May. He's not fighting. He's done. They should really strip the belt from Thurman, let Swift, Garcia, and Porter fight for the WBC. Pacquiao is already fighting for Matisse's. Matisse's got some version of the WBA. Make that the regulars. Make that the WBA fight, and just take Thurman's belt, and now you'd have 2 world championships fight. If Garcia won, it would all line up. You'd have Pacquiao. If Pacquiao wins and Garcia wins, right? Then 2 fights, you would have Pacquiao unifying with Crawford, and then you could have Garcia unifying with Spence, and then it was set up like a tournament. The division is actually more entertaining. It's actually better if you strip Keith Thurman of his belt. It's better without Keith Thurman. Because you'd actually have people fighting for the titles instead of one guy just hijacking it.
And the reason to strip Keith of his belt is just due to inactivity?
Yeah, he's fought, twice now in 3 years? He hasn't fought in going on a year and a half. I mean, what would be the point of allowing him to keep his belt? He wants to be a champion and marry forever? I mean, the guy doesn't fight.
The WBA already has. Hold on, Gary. The WBA already has a regular champion and an interim champion.
Well, I mean, what's the point of
why elevate? Why
let him keep it?
Why elevate Lucas Matisse to a championship status for beating who again? Taylor?
He's fighting Pacquiao. Matisse is fighting Pacquiao.
But Matisse already has the regular belt. Matisse already has the regular belt. So if you were to strip him, you're talking about elevating Lucas Matisse. What has he done to earn that elevation? You're creating a paper champion when there's no need to. There's already multiple belts in that pecking order, and the WBC is making a new belt for an interim. So I don't understand why you would need to then vacate.
That the WBA is kind of gives everyone a belt, but if he's the regular champion, that's what they call it, and Danny Garcia is ranked number 1. Garcia is fighting Porter, so take that out of the way. Who's ranked number 2? Pacquiao. Pacquiao's already fighting Matisse, so let that be for for Keith Thurman's belt.
Nah, man, that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. It would be ridiculous to make Lucas Matisse a full welterweight champion for defeating Emmanuel 140-pound Taylor. Gary, you've gone way beyond the 3 because you know we love you around here. We're going to keep these phone lines moving.
Again, I just want to clarify just so the listeners can understand the framing of it, what's happening. Keith Thurman is the WBA super champion and the WBC champion. Obviously, there's a regular WBA champion and an interim WBA champion. I believe the WBA interim champion is Constantine Panamera, I believe. Do not quote me on that. But the regular champion is Lucas Matisse, who beat Emmanuel Taylor. So the idea of stripping Keith Thurman of either one of those belts would then elevate the guys below him to championship status or for a vacant title shot. So I think either option for that makes zero sense when they're already making options in the meantime. WBC already has a option right now, which they're discussing. Danny versus Shawn, interim belt, perfect. WBA already has a regular champion in the meantime, perfect. What's the big deal?
Yo, last year there was plenty of people saying Keith should vacate the titles. This year is the strongest argument. I mean, he's gone over a year inactive. Now sanctioning bodies legitimately have a reason to take him out of the rankings. I don't know how they treat champions, what sort of leniency they're going to have. Did he put an extension? But he's holding up the division right now. This is a year now.
He is holding up the division, and it is an arbitrary decision for the sanctioning bodies to make whether or not they strip him. They're already probably within their right, I want to say, because he has not defended against his mandatory in some time. Yes, Ness?
You know, in the beginning of the show, I said how hypothetically Porter Garcia could end up for the full belt.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think that more. I've seen this before where guys are inactive and, you know, Mauricio says, hey, take this gold emeritus belt. In the meantime, go to sleep with this emeritus belt in your house, and we're going to go ahead and let Danny and Porter fight for this, and we're going to take a big chunk of that, that commission over there / sanctioning body fee.
It all depends on the injury of Keith Thurman. Obviously, it's alleged that he injured his hand. What sort of injury that is, the wait time. You know, if he's fighting in July, September, or August, I see really no reason to strip him of the belt. If we're talking about him not fighting until next year, then yeah, I understand that argument absolutely.
Nah, you're not understanding it, because if he fights in July or August, like you're hypothetically saying, which I don't see it, but let's just say he does, he's still testing the waters. He's not defending his belts. He still was getting a voluntary.
He was always due for a voluntary.
Well, no.
Was he not?
Now, no, because a year has gone by. It's not a year of activity. It's a year. You have a year to defend your belt.
Sorry, not to interrupt you. Was Danny a mandatory technically? Or was he like an interim champion?
Danny was the WBC champ. That was
that's right. Then okay, yeah. The WBC can do whatever they want, and like they can do with any fighter. I mean, they have clauses in there that say that they can arbitrarily decide whatever to do, regardless of their own set regulations and requirements.
It's the same thing they did to Linares when they took the belt from Linares and let Mikey fight for it versus Latikanen.
But even then, that's pointless because that's nothing. That's a toothless thing because they still parade Linares as a WBC champion, and they're still talking about Lomachenko fighting Linares and becoming a lightweight champion. Am I wrong? Like making someone emeritus, is just a semantical thing to get them not with the full belt.
Because technically it is a belt. He has the WBA. That's what he beat Corolla for. Remember, he was WBC. He went on emeritus, so he didn't have to fight Mikey, so he could fight the bigger fight in Corolla.
I understand that, but he is still paraded as a WBC champion.
Emeritus,
yes, but I'm just saying. Semantically, like there's really no difference to making guys emeritus.
But he won't be able to give that belt to Lomachenko if Lomachenko beats him.
I don't know.
Nope.
I don't know. Especially if Mikey doesn't go back down to 135.
Then he gets elevated. He could probably get elevated after that. Probably. And if Mikey decides not to go down, you might see a strong possibility they elevate him before the Lomachenko happens, just so Lomachenko can have two belts.
And I'll be honest, all we're saying here is just fucking gobbledygook for the belts are fucking pointless in my opinion. Because talking about like emeritus,
preparing you for what is to come,
and it's just verbiage to sell a fucking belt and get a fucking check from fighters. Let's be honest.
But it also forces fights, though. You know, in one stance, you see, this is why I have a problem with guys like you and Georgie, because in one sentence you say belts are bullshit, but then in another sentence we get good fights like Earl versus Kellbrook because of a belt. You know, we might get Danny versus Porter because of a belt. We got Danny versus Thurman because of a belt.
Well, Ness, not to interrupt you, but those two things could also be true. So the sanctioning bodies could get us great fights because they force great fights sometimes. That is absolutely true. But it is also true that their alphabet soup of belts that they themselves have created has devalued themselves to the fans. That's why you have no fans recognizing which belt is which. For a casual fan, they have no idea what belt Deontay Wilder holds or Anthony Joshua holds or Keith Thurman holds. They just know he's a champion, vaguely, right? Like they see a belt, okay, cool. They don't know what an NABF or WBU or IBO or WBA. They don't know the difference of any of this, or what a regular champion or interim champion or emeritus champion. That naturally devalues the system they have. But they also do make great fights sometimes. Absolutely. Those two things can be true.
Gabe, Salt Lake City.
Yo, what's going on? Matt, did I hear you right that the Nevada Athletic Commission did not approve the Mungia fight?
Yes. That's what Boxing Scene is reporting.
Well, then they must be a joke then, right? If they're not, how can they not license that fight, but they license McGregor Mayweather? It's I don't know, man. They're to me, they're starting to seem like a joke of a commission. Also, with Canelo, man, have you guys ever remembered like a star, the face of boxing in his prime, who gets popped for PEDs?
Holyfield?
Was he in his prime? Or was it later on in his career? Because like right now, this is what Canelo's probably, you could say, his biggest fight. Like, I just think he gave boxing a black eye. Kind of
slow down a minute. And I don't mean that in a mean way, anything like that. I just want to still address that point. When
You're good, man. I don't get butthurt.
You're saying this is like the biggest fight of in his career. So, and then when I said Holyfield, you said, oh, but wasn't that later in his career? So just in that same mindset and logic, right? 10 years from now, someone will be talking and be like, oh man, Canelo, right, didn't test positive in his prime. He fought Mayweather in his prime. It was later in his career when he tested positive. They could say the same shit.
I don't
it's
think
semantics.
Very, very quickly, Gabe. Let me jump in here. I don't think Gabe. Hold on, very, very quickly, Gabe. Let me jump in here. I don't think anyone will say Canelo was in his prime fighting Mayweather. Let me get that off the bat. Secondly, it may not be the same thing, but Mike Tyson going to jail for rape was a huge black guy in the sport at the time. The way that it's been described to me from people that lived during it, it's not the same thing as PEDs, but it's a black guy in a sense for a mega star in the sport. That's probably the closest thing you're going to get to it.
Yeah, I would agree with that, man. I do agree with the Mike Tyson comparison, even though it wasn't PEDs, because, you know, I think we're going to see it in our lifetime. We're going to see someone die in the ring, and the guy's going to get popped for PEDs. I hate to say that, but I feel that that's can't think of the word. That's eventually what's going to happen. I hate to say it, but I feel that it's going to happen in our lifetime. But with the Jarrett Hurd and Lara fight, here's my synopsis of the fight. I think Lara is going to box the brakes off of him for the first 5 rounds. Lara, I think, isn't he close to 40, like 38, 39?
No, he's 34.
But I hear my thing going, so I think Jarrett Hurd wins stoppage late rounds, probably 10th or 11th round. Just too much pressure, knocks him out. Go support TBV, man. Leave a review, do something. All right, thanks, guys. Later.
Great call, Gabe.
All right, Gabe, thank you. And that's right, man. Don't forget, Gabe said it. I'm reminding you guys, drop us a 5-star review simply because regardless of circumstance, we're trying to bring you this live show. We're uploading it for all our podcast listeners. So remember to drop us a 5-star review where it matters on iTunes. It means the world to me and my co-host, and it also means the world to, potential new stumbling listeners that are looking for boxing talk. Your review keeps us at the top so that it's easier to find. We're going to go out to our ringer,
very quickly,
which means...
Before we go to our ringer, who we deeply appreciate and love, Dempsey. Let's say hypothetically Canelo gets suspended for a year. Right? Let's live in this hypothetical world where he's a cheater, suspended for a year. Does he bounce back in the public light in any way? Ness, I'm asking you a question.
If Canelo gets suspended, does he bounce back? Hell yeah, everybody bounces back, bro. This is a world based on comeback stories.
Not everyone has bounced back. Some people have not.
Povetkin bounced back, and he's a fucking repeat offender. Luis Ortiz bounced back. He's a repeat offender. Stop him, man. You're looking at me with a smirk, which podcast listeners can't see. Your theory is like Pac said, blow holes.
It's not a theory. I'm just talking here, just for podcast and debate, Ness. But
you lost.
We've seen guys like Lance Armstrong who went through the ringer.
Call him the bounce back king.
Did he bounce back?
Hell yeah. Then he got popped again. Wasn't he like famous, dropped off, took steroids, won again, got famous, then all of a sudden had to tell the truth?
I don't think so. I think you have that wrong, to be honest. But again, we're not the best, like average, like sports
we're not
fans.
cyclist podcast.
No,
anyway.
we're not. But I'm just saying.
Peloton right here. This is not Peloton. Shout out to Michael. Probably all on Peloton out there.
It's gonna be curious to see. All I'm gonna say is it's gonna be curious to see what the bounce back is for Canelo if that happens. It's gonna be very curious to see.
Bro, you bugging, man.
Because people don't like Canelo. There's a lot of people that do not like Canelo.
Let me tell you something you don't know. Just relax. You're young. Let me tell you something you don't know. There was once upon a time that Julio Cesar Chavez was doing straight to pay-per-views. Like straight to pay-per-views. No HBO, no nothing. Just Bob Arams.
Mm-hmm.
So that he could build them on his dime, bro. He was fighting guys like John Duddy maybe 3 times. Carlos Molina twice. That's how.
I remember that. I know.
Straight pay-per-views. So Golden Boy could do the same, man. They could do the same. If shit ever got bad for Canelo, you don't think it's just like a rapper? You don't think they could do a world tour, man? Just do mad back-to-back month fights throughout all the popular Mexican cities?
No. See, that's not what I'm arguing here. I think Canelo's always going to be good money-wise because he's Canelo still.
Bounce back.
I meant like the public perception of him. Like he will. Right now, he is Canelo.
All he got to do is win. Winning, and his test got to be clean. Just like Luis Ortiz. Nobody ain't care about Luis or Povetkin as long as they clean. We care when you pop. We don't care. We forgave Povetkin. They called him Povetkin. Now it's back to Povetkin. Now his David Price changed everything. You know what I'm saying? Let's go out to our ringer, which means he gets to cut the line, even though we made him wait a little bit longer because Matt wanted a debate. Mike, yeah, you can watch it on YouTube. We uploaded in about 3 to 5 hours to YouTube for all our YouTube fans. So if you're watching this on YouTube mañana, future, present, past, hit that thumbs up button. Doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to catch us live, we on Facebook. Holla. Dempsey, what up?
What up, guys? How's it going?
What up?
Podcasting.
Yo, y'all hear me? What up? Cool.
Of course we hear you.
Yo, so what's up? All right, nice. Yeah, man, just calling in. Long time no speak, guys. But glad I can call in for this show. Looking forward to this weekend's fights. Lara Hurd. When I was first announced, I was actually very excited for it. It's nice to see another unification match in an all right division right now. But yeah, man. In regards to that fight, I think it really can go either direction. I mean, Lara's got his experience. He's fought some really tough fighters in the past. There have been times where he has shown pretty good pop in his punches, and then you got Hurd, who just seems unstoppable with his pressure. And he seems to have a calculated way with how he breaks you down. Even though he may give off a few rounds in the beginning, he does eventually break you down as the fight wears on. The thing about Lara is he's not as young as he used to be. He is 34 years old. I don't know about you guys, but in my opinion, I feel like his spring in his step seems like it's slowing down a little bit. So he might be at that right age now where Hurd can probably stop him in the later rounds. But then again, with the way Hurd fights coming face forward, it's a possibility he could be eating a lot of shots all night long as well too. And it's a possibility that he could end up getting stopped later on. But with all that said, I think we are going to see Lara. I'm sorry, I meant Hurd. I think we are going to see Hurd pull off the win, and I think he might actually stop him late in the rounds. And the Caleb Truax fight with the James DeGale rematch, kind of hard to imagine how Truax is going to lose this time around. DeGale just seems like he's been declining. His defense has always lacked, in all honesty. So I got to go with Truax. And then the J-Rock Williams, the Gallimore fight, I got to go with Williams. I really don't know much about Gallimore, but I'll find out more about him on Saturday. And then I will find out if I'll be eating some crow on Sunday. Take it easy, guys.
Dempsey.
All right, Dempsey, thank you for calling in, brother. Thank you for your continued support on Patreon. And speaking of, Matt, I know you got an announcement, but I think I got a good one, but I'll wait. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say we have another boomeranger.
I have no clue what the fuck you're saying with your shitty ass connection.
It's not a shitty connection. Don't say that.
I bet you if you turned your mic to you the
It
way
is
that I'm
at me. Look, it is at me. Relax.
And now that you're turning your head, we don't hear that.
Look, this mic is good enough to be able to handle it. Okay,
No, you need to speak directly into it, like all the professionals do. That being said,
no, that's not true. They just turn up their gain.
Huh?
They just turn up their gain. That's what they do. They have an actual like soundproof room and shit where they just turn up the gain and they can be really far away from it. With these mics, you can do that.
Yeah, whatever, Matt. Matt is like more excuses than a couple of my exes.
But anyways, whoa.
I'm texting you the number right there for Rick. I don't even think we should say his last name. That's his business. But shout out to Rick, who was already a pre-existing Patreon and upped it to, that glove tier. So we will be sending Nick a glove, and he's also now boomerang status. He rarely calls in.
OMG. I am so excited.
He rarely calls in, but he listens all the time on the night shift. So shout out to all my third shift, night shift workers. Shout out to all my truckers, Victor and O. Stay safe on that road, my friends. Remember the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 time. Add Nestor Gibbs on Skype.
Call me now.
Matt, we're going out to our boomerangy. But you have something to say because I see your face.
No, that was it. Ness. That was.
Oh, you wanted to make sure that
you literally caught me like I was like starting my sentence and then you interrupted me.
Well, I'm on point. Calgary in the house. What up, Jose?
Good evening, guys. How you guys doing tonight?
All good, all good.
Good. Matt, as always, thank you for having my back and always getting me front in line. I literally just called like 6 minutes ago, started hearing the show, heard you guys talk a little bit of Canelo or Dempsey. Boom. Activated my status too, so I get to come right in, jump in line. For like $1 a day, you can literally get it done. It's like one of those telethons, right? Anyway, I don't quite know what's going to happen.
It does break down to about $1.
It does, really, like for less than a cup of coffee, man. Like it sounds like one of those, like, save the animal deals. But I mean, really, if you're going to be waiting online for like 2 hours, come on, man. Your time's got to be worth more than that. Paying like $1 a day, $2 a day, man, and you get to jump right to the front of the line. I mean, you got to put value to your time too, right? Canelo, man. Speaking of time, I think Canelo's fucked this up royally, man. There's no way that this fight's actually going to be able to work because if Canelo comes back in September, he's going to need a tune-up fight, isn't he? Is he going to go straight to fight right away? And if he takes a tune-up, then Gennady is just 1 more year older. Like, it seems like this is just beyond, what this should have been, man. This fight should have happened 2 years ago when Canelo initially said he was going to fight him. So, I mean, yeah, I am disappointed in Canelo. I was the guy that loved Canelo more than anyone until Floyd humiliated him. And then after I saw what Canelo did to Triple G, I was back on the Canelo bandwagon. I loved Canelo. I thought he fought amazing. I bought my ticket, got my hotel, and now this motherfucker went and canceled. So what am I supposed to do, man? I'm going to lose my flight? I'm really pissed off, man. There's a lot of people that wanted to see this fight, and we got fucked, man. So, I mean, you know what? I think those people are going to hold that against him, and I will too, man. Next time they fight, I want Triple G to spank him. But if Triple G beats him now, Canelo's going to have the built-in excuse that he wasn't prepared, that he had too much time off, and Triple G got in another fight. So I don't see how we're going to be able to retrospectively look back at this fight, potentially like a trilogy or just the 2 fights, and actually say that it was an amazing fight. It's going to have like an asterisk, like the Manny Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather fight, right? Speaking of which, I'm guaranteeing Manny Pacquiao is going to knock the shit out of Lucas Batiste, and then from there he's going to go on, beat Lomachenko,
then beat either Garcia or Crawford, and then ultimately have one last fight with Mayweather, man. And then that's going to be Manny Pacquiao's career. You can believe it, or you can't. It's up to you. You may think I'm crazy or whatever. This is what I believe, man. Manny Pacquiao is far from done, and he is like this generation's, best fighter, man. So he'll prove that, and really, we'll see it, man. We'll see when he plows through Matisse. The real test is going to be against Lomachenko. And I don't think that anybody could tell us that fight won't be exciting, man. Manny Pacquiao against Lomachenko. That'll be a great fight. And that'll position him for 2 more big money fights. So that's all I got. And Hurd and whatever that guy's name is, the Cuban, no one fucking cares. Those guys are garbage. That's all I got. Peace. Bye.
Yeah, that's fucked up. That's pretty mean. No one fucking cares.
And it's not
I
true.
care about Hurd. I care about what Hurd's gonna do and Lara. I mean, I was always a big Lara fan.
I always like Lara. I like Hurd a lot. Hurd's always he's a friend of the show, I would say, because he always likes our IG posts. He'll come in when we do videos.
Hurd is definitely a friend of the show. They've invited me down to that camp. Problem is, I have no willing bodies to drive that 4 hours with me. You would believe the road trips we've taken that this team would go 4 hours, but they don't want to.
Yeah, I would if I was there, Ness, and it was a 4-hour drive for me.
I'm not talking about you. I was talking about Doomy and Enrique, but you are included because
Hey, if you get the plane ticket, I'm down. Let's go.
Usually be on the East Coast,
like old school camp life. Me and you, no one else. I'm down for that.
Stunty. Call him Stunty.
We go out to Boston.
The fuck's going on here?
OMG, I am so excited.
Are you really?
Yo, first of all, let me say, I don't pay Showtime to see you all there, not even putting a goddamn motherfucking effort. If I want to see some motherfucker just fight, I pick up a fight with somebody in the street. Don't need that shit. You don't love that sport, my dude? Just move along. Gone. Fuck you. Next. What a great show. Thumbs up, donate. Yeah. So with this energy up in this bitch. Rocky Lockin. Mr. Gibbs, how you been, buddy?
Buddy?
Mr. Gibbs.
Yeah, what up?
What's going on, bro? Talk to me, B.
What you want to talk about, B?
Well, I got a question, brother, because, way back, I know you cannot remember every single call, especially years back. But, 3 years back, there was this dude who was homeless. And this nigga was living out of his car.
Lamont Peterson.
Nigga called in, and I remember... Huh?
Oh, you talking about the listener?
Nah, it wasn't Peterson. It was just a regular caller. And
Yeah. I remember the guy that you said. I think the guy that said that listening to TBV, he was going through a dark time and shit. And listening to TBV got him. You talking about that guy?
And pull him back on his feet.
Yeah.
And put that nigga back on his feet, brother. That's how much TBV represent for some people. I just want man to understand that.
And?
Let me say, yo, listen.
Oh, Georgie. What does that even mean?
Well, I don't know. You smart enough. Figure it out. Let me talk to Ness.
No. I'm talking to you now, Georgie, because this is part of my show too now.
And you won. I got no answer for you. I got no answer for you.
So you're going to send a subliminal on a show that I'm a co-host on and not follow it up? That's some sucker shit.
Triggered.
That's some sucker shit right there, Georgie.
Oh,
that's some buster ass shit right there, Georgie.
Oh, why are you calling a man a sucker? Why are you calling a man a sucker, B?
If you want to talk to me. I'm right here, B. Talk to me.
Oh, he don't want to talk. He's being clear. He don't want to talk to you.
I'm address you when I'm down, B. Let me holler Ness. So he's trying to do something for TVB.
Respect to me, bro.
Blow your fucking pants on.
Learn. Hey.
Anyways.
Take notes.
Learn who has control here, homie. I got control here. You cannot come on this show without me, Georgie. So respect, or you're not allowed on.
Ooh, look at this
Fall
guy.
back, because I smell some pussy up in here. If you're going to talk shit, talk to me. I'm right here. Talk to me. Don't send subliminals on my show. What are you doing?
Matt, why are you power tripping right now?
Because that was some sucker shit. You know that.
Georgie,
that was some sucker shit, Georgie. You know that was some sucker shit, Georgie. You're going to talk shit, talk shit. Actually talk shit. Don't be some pussy. Talk some shit.
He got a little strand of Matt's hair coming out from under his hat. He got you so hot right now. Look at his face. Somebody take a screenshot of his face.
I am hot because that's some sucker shit.
Oh, geez.
This is my show.
Matty, listen, mister, you on the show.
Ooh, he owns shit.
This is the voice of the people, but learn who fucking runs it.
Nah, it's the voice of Matt. It's the voice of Matt. You hear him, bro. He runs shit.
Learn who runs it. I run it.
Like the voice of Matt.
Oh, Matt, let him talk.
You running it wrong, buddy. You running it wrong. Anyway, listen. We got to get out of the hamster wheel. All these saying, no, but this guy is busy with the other one. And he's fighting on May. And the other one not going to fight until June. And listen. This is the same mafia who scheduled this shit. Why would the fucking we're going to start the conversation and they busy? When this motherfucker scheduled a fight like that, every time I had somebody coming here thanking Al Heyman or thanking fucking Duba for giving us fucking DSG against Porter. Nigga, all these fucking fights supposed to happen. We supposed to know who the fuck is the number one in the world. But here we are in the fucking hamster wheel again. Oh no, we cannot take out the fucking belt from Thurman. How we gonna give Batista the fucking super champ? Nigga, cause the regular fucking championship barely ain't shit to start with. To start with. He should not even fuck for that crap. He should not even exist it. But always a way to defend these fucking mafias. Kind of shit is that, nigga. The sport that we love is full of shit and fucking scumbags. That's the reality. Well, to give it a good note, everybody out there, support, give that thumb up, donate, because TPV needs it. I'm out.
I wish Georgie listened to the playback.
Why?
So he could see that it's almost impossible to understand him. Like, you don't even get all of the words because of the way that he speaks. Going out to Chicago, the Windy City.
Don't even respect your ass. That's why it's time for the doctor to check your ass, nigga.
Fight Doctor in the house on Rick James status as always. What's going on, gentlemen?
What up?
Fight Doc, what up?
So, is it true that Golovkin and Billy Joe Sanders are in negotiations for a possible fight? Is that true?
For November or something like that, for the fall, not for May.
So he's still going to go on his Bum of the Month tour for or he's going to resume his Bum of the Month tour for May. Golovkin is Golovkin by fighting Soto Popinski, whatever his name is. What's his name?
Well, we don't know who he's fighting.
The bum. What? There's some guy he's supposed to be fighting that looks like he came right out of a Mike Tyson punch out. You know, not like the top guy, but one in the bottom, like the second to the first guy, like the second guy. Okay, him, whatever his name is, not Glass Joe, but the guy that you beat after you beat Glass Joe. That guy. That is who Golovkin is supposed to be fighting in May. What's that guy's name? What's that guy's name?
I have no idea.
Jamie Munguia.
You guys know who I'm talking about. Whatever the hell the guy's name is, okay? Whatever the hell. But listen, I'll tell you what. It's probably smart for the Triple Duck to fight a soft touch in May in the event that he does get the Canelo rematch in September, which I honestly don't think is going to happen in September. It's probably, if that rematch happens, it's probably not going to happen until Cinco de Mayo 2019 at the earliest. I just don't see it happening in September. So you guys, your job is to figure out who is the character from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out that Golovkin is going to be fighting in his next fight. Okay? And probably I would bet $1 to dimes that you can find Anthony Joshua's next opponent by doing the same thing, looking in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out video game. So I'll leave you gentlemen with that.
Fight Doctor, pleasure as always. Russell, talk to us.
I'm just listening in, bro.
All right. We're going out to Antonio in Albany.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello? All right, back. So, I just got in, so I don't know what you guys are talking about. But right off the bat, man, I got Lara this weekend against Hurd. I think he's going to knock him out within 7 rounds. I just feel like Lara still has some fight in him. I feel like he could still fight for a couple of more years. And he's going to be, unified champion. And then next, Wilder. Yo, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like the fight's not going to happen, and it's going to be Hearns and Anthony Joshua's fault. Because honestly, they know down below their heart that a fucking good boxer with a jab and distance is going to beat him. And that's what Wilder is. And they know that. With fucking Parker, that fight was boring. But the reason why is because Parker was keeping his distance, using his jab. And that's what Wilder is, but 10 times better. And they know damn well they're going to lose that fight. So they're going to use every excuse to avoid that fight. And then, what else you guys are talking about? Pacquiao? Batiste? I feel like Pacquiao's going to win that fight. But if he uses Boo Boy and he doesn't take this fight seriously, I don't think he's going to win that fight. But, at the end of the day, we'll see where Matisse is at. If he trains hard, I feel like he's going to, beat him by decision. But, we'll see. I mean, it's a good fight for them both, being that they're both at the end of their careers. That's about it, It's lit, though. I'm out.
Thank you, Antonio.
Antonio, thanks for calling in. Matt, it is that time.
Mm-hmm. Another flagship show, another Thursday show, another fight week.
Another Jueves fight week. This is, it sucks. This fight week, it doesn't feel as big as it should be.
No. There's a big UFC pay-per-view this weekend, too.
Russell says that he answered the question for Fight Doctor. Fight Doctor, the answer is Don Flamingo. That's the Mike Tyson Punch-Out character that Triple G is facing.
Is it Flamenco or it's not Flamingo?
I thought it was Flamingo. He had the pink shorts, bro.
Well, not what in the actual writing of it. Saying Russell or Mario? Because somebody in the chat is saying Don Flamenco, not Flamingo.
Well, I'm getting Don Flamingo from over here.
It really doesn't matter because it's not a real person. So
somebody sent us a message that obviously we can't address now, but he says something like, can you guys please talk about why Terrence Crawford is not an option? Danny can't get Keith or Earl and doesn't want Shawn. A fight against Bud would be fireworks.
Well, but Bud has a fight. That is why, literally.
That is why.
That's why the fight can't make a fight with a guy that already has a fight scheduled.
He does have a fight already scheduled. This is true.
That's why the Earl Spence fight most likely cannot happen because the Ocampos fight is I'm pretty sure is agreed upon in some capacity.
Yes.
It may not be official, but I think it's agreed upon.
Yes.
So
but it is a good year, man. I mean, right after that, we're gonna get Broner, Vargas, Charlo, Centennial. So I'm happy. Catch us right here. I guess we're going to be doing our immediate reaction show on Facebook. So right after the fight, tune into our Facebook like page. You should like the page.
Or
so
live fight chat. We could do the live fight chat again on Facebook, just saying.
Yeah, we could do that too. But you guys definitely should like the Facebook page so you get those notifications. I want to say congratulations to each and every single one of you that listens to the show and that is here. Subscribe right here on YouTube. Even though we're on Facebook, we just crossed over another milestone on YouTube by achieving 71,000. We're literally at 71,021 subscribers. So we're on the hunt for 100K before May. We've had a hiccup with the live stream. Let's see if any good comes from this. Remember, if you've enjoyed this show, you should like, thumbs up, whatever, any form of sharing is always best. And definitely dropping us that 5-star review. I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. Remember, Sunday is Crow Day. So whatever you picked, whatever you dropped in the comment section, come back Sunday to get that crow.
Yes, and I'm Matt the Hipster Hunter. You can find me at Mixed Combat News on Twitter, Matt Hunter TBV on Instagram, my MMA podcast, and Mixed Combat Radios on Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, etc. And of course, go to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. Help support your favorite boxing channel and get hours and hours and hours of extra boxing content, including other podcasts, including Standing 8 Count, Untitled, Overtime, etc. Peace.
Peace.